Hey guys, this is Mrs. Schramm. We are going to be doing this worksheet. This is page BN 92, as you can see on the bottom. It's the one that we did our DNA replication on Tuesday or Wednesday. So please get this out. We're going to talk about this picture real quick about the cell's life cycle, and then I'm going to give you guys some definitions a little bit later, and you guys are going to answer these 5 questions on your own. So let's look at this. Yesterday, Wednesday, we wrote down that this is the cell's life cycle. It grows during this phase called G1. It then replicates its DNA during the S phase, which stands for synthesis. And then it goes through the G2 phase. Now let's go and we're going to draw some pictures around this. So let's focus right here. At the beginning of a cell's life cycle, we have a cell. This cell has a nucleus. Inside of this nucleus is DNA, okay? But the DNA is in a very specific form, and we're going to talk about that. So let's label this nucleus. Let's label this DNA, okay? And this is just a cell. You guys should also know that this is cytoplasm. And what we're going to do is say during this G1 phase, a cell will grow in size. It'll grow until it's the size that it needs to be, which let's call that this size, okay? I just made it a little bit bigger, but the nucleus is still here, full of DNA, etc. Here is where a cell stops its life cycle, and it might enter a phase called G0. This is just the cell has grown to its normal size, and now it's going to do what it's supposed to do, which is use DNA to make all of the proteins that a cell needs to do for normal activity. But let's say you fall down and scrape your knee, and this is a skin cell. This skin cell is still on your knee, but the neighbor next door to this guy got ripped off when you skinned your knee. This skin cell needs to now enter into the S phase so that it can make a copy of itself to replace the skin cells lost when you fell down and cut your knee. So let's see what's happening in the nucleus. Right now, inside of the nucleus, what's going to happen is we have 23 chromosomes. We have chromosome number 1 from your mom. We also have a copy of chromosome number 1 from your dad. And we have a copy of chromosome number 2 from your mom, a copy of chromosome number 2 from your dad. Now, I could do this for 23 more pairs, but I'm not going to. Let's just write ... 23, okay? You get 23 pairs, 1 from your mom, 1 from your dad, of each of the 23 chromosomes. Here's chromosome number 1, here's chromosome number 2. That's what this looks like right now. But when we go through the S phase of DNA replication, you guys know from the front of our paper that this is a single chromosome, but we learned the word sister chromatids after DNA replication happens. So after DNA replication happens, the cell, okay, let's draw what's happening down here. Let's draw the cell the same size, but draw the nucleus double the size, because now inside of this nucleus we have 2 times as much DNA. Instead now, this chromosome number 1 has replicated, so it's going to look like this. Chromosome 1, this is 1 from your mom. This is also chromosome number 1 from your mom, but they're stuck together as sister chromatids. Okay, these guys are sister chromatids. All the chromosomes are going to do this. All 46 chromosomes, all 23 pairs. So you also have chromosome number 1 from dad. And here's the sister chromatid that's exactly the same, hopefully, from dad. And then we have chromosome number 2 from your mom, number 2 from your mom, chromosome number 2 from your dad, 2 from your dad. You get the idea, okay? So far, we've had the cell grow, chill out until its neighbor got killed. Then it said, well, I've got to do DNA replication so I can make a copy of this cell. So I need to copy using DNA replication, open up the double helix, have DNA polymerase, copy everything to turn these chromosomes into sister chromatids. And then, what am I going to do next? G2. The cell's now going to go through G2. Now, what does that mean? It's a second growth phase. This is where we prepare for mitosis. How might we want to prepare for mitosis? Let's draw a mitochondria. You guys know mitochondria are very useful for making ATP energy. We also know that there are ribosomes inside of a cell. Let's draw 5 ribosomes. We also know that there are endoplasmic reticulum. Maybe you know that word. You should, hopefully. Okay. Let's draw those things inside of a cell. To prepare for mitosis, this cell is going to become 2 new cells. So with our giant nucleus that has double the DNA, we are now going to also copy some vital organelles. Let's make 2 of those mitochondria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's make 10 ribosomes. In real life, there's a lot more ribosomes, but that's okay. We'll just do 10 because, we don't have all day. We'll make an even bigger endoplasmic reticulum, okay? And all of these things are going to be split during mitosis, the organelles and the DNA, so that we can form 2 new cells when cytokinesis ends. And we're going to see that in a minute. So this is the G2 phase, okay? Making more organelles and things like that. Then mitosis is going to take this cell and split it into 2 cells. Let's make an arrow that's split, okay? Let's draw splitting it in half. That means the cell is going to be half as big, and the nucleus is going to be half as big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ribosomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ribosomes. A little endoplasmic reticulum here. A little endoplasmic reticulum here. Mitochondria, and now we've got 2 new cells. Each of these cells will now enter G1 so that they can grow to be a normal size cell and replace the cells that you lost when you got cut. Now, a critical thing we're going to talk about next semester, and this, just so you guys know, is called the M phase, because mitosis, okay, is where cell division happens during the M phase. During mitosis, what happens is these sister chromatids, like this, for example, let's draw this one. Every single pair of these sister chromatids will get ripped in half like this, and one ends up in this nucleus, and one ends up in this nucleus. This was chromosome number 1 from mom. This was the other chromosome number 1 from mom. And the same thing happened with chromosome number 1 from dad, and 2 from mom, and 2 from dad, and 3 from mom, and 3 from dad. So that you end up with, again, 46 chromosomes in each of these cells. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to give you the definition. Actually, I want you guys to look up the definition for these 3 words, okay, in the back of your textbook. And I want you to answer these few questions. And actually, I think I just did this one for you. So you're done with number 5, okay? You can read number 5, but you're done with that. Interpret the rest and do that. We're gonna be back on Monday with more information. Thanks, guys. Bye.